Never underestimate someone by their appearance. Such a classic adage that has stood the test of time. Now, while it's true in reality, it's an anime where we see it taken to extremes. Seriously, how many of the super cool and badass characters in anime are old men? People who look frail and washed up by all means end up being some of the most overpowered monsters in their respective series. Today, I'm going to be sharing some moments where old men in anime showcased their power and did a little flexing of their own. Because those young gun protagonists and rivals can't claim those moments as exclusively their own, right? Let's open things up with Bleach. It could be because the sequel is inching closer and closer, but I feel that it's also because Bleach is one of the most stereotypical representations of the old man character in Yamamoto. The leader of the Gotei 13 gets his time to shine in real combat towards the climax of the fake Garakura town arc, where he stands fully prepared to face Aizen. Unfortunately for him though, Aizen has prepared a secret weapon to deal with him. Having his powers sealed off by Wonderweiss, Yamamoto decides to give the Arrancar a good old beating. Yeah, who says Bleach should be all about magical swords when physical combat, hardened by centuries of training, manages to let Yamamoto obliterate his supposed counter? Take note that Wonderweiss had also come from a presumed off-screen win against Kensei, so this guy's no slouch. And if you want to see more of Yamamoto in action, get ready for the 1000-year Blood War arc, where he'll finally unleash his full power in the upcoming battles. Since we're on the topic of samurai and shonen anime, why not continue with Gintama? Being one of the 4 devas of Kabuki district, Jirocho's appearance alone would be enough to send warning bells blaring against any opponent. However, any title or nickname an anime character has to hype him will eventually have to be put to the test. For Jirocho, he gets the chance to do so in a battle against the series protagonist in episode 211 of Gintama. Fueled by rage, Gintoki lashes out and wastes no time nailing Jirocho with quick attacks. He gets the first hit in, and we're treated to a visual spectacle of swords clashing, but fans immediately noticed that something was wrong. Gintoki was in full attack mode, but Jirocho simply brushed everything off with his calm parries. Then, he easily turns the tides and hands Gintoki one of the most decisive defeats he's ever received up to that point of the show, easily defending his title and showing our protagonist an important lesson in approaching combat. Next up is a fairy tale moment. You know, there was a time when things were a lot simpler in Fairy Tail. Just fun and easy guild adventures sandwiched between long and serious arcs. One such serious arc was the guild war between Fairy Tail and Phantom Lord. Well, there were lots of battles, but in the end it came down to Guild Master Jose taking on some of the best Fairy Tail had to offer at that point: Urza, Grey, and Elfman. Those 3 didn't fare too well against a wizard saint like Jose. Thankfully, who else to come to the rescue but good old Makarov? There was a lot of trash talking between the 2 masters of the battling guilds, but even Jose's best efforts at defeating Makarov proved futile against the latter's ultimate magic, fairy lore. This is a great moment and a nice debut for Makarov. We haven't seen much of this guy before, but this extended squash fight would teach people not to underestimate this jolly old man. And we haven't heard anything out of Jose since that total annihilation. We can take a trip back in time with a Hellsing moment. When talking about badass anime butlers, people would unsurprisingly gravitate towards Sebastian, but I think Hellsing's Walter deserves some love too. It just so happens that he gets overshadowed by the crazier members of the cast, but this battle butler has a mean streak of his own. All you have to see is how effortless he makes carnage seem with this moment in the anime. It's a complete 180 turn as his calm walk turns into flawless massacre. Masterfully using his wires, he makes short work of everyone in sight. It didn't matter that they're relentlessly shooting at him, Walter just goes on doing what he does best, and all the time he's just toying with the opposition. People say that we should look out for Alucard, but it turns out that the whole Hellsing organization, down to the retainer, is just full of dangerous badasses. But hey, speaking of badasses, how about I introduce you to the sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. It's the premier VPN service that will allow you to bypass those pesky region locks and enjoy shows you wouldn't normally be able to access legally. I started using ExpressVPN and I never looked back. I recently used it to watch some Kill La Kill fights. Just open ExpressVPN and select the United States server and boom! Now you can use it to watch hundreds of different anime which aren't available in your region. And it does all of this without slowing your internet speeds down whatsoever. I can stream anime with blazing fast speeds in HD quality and never experience any buffering. With ExpressVPN, you can also browse the internet with the maximum security that a VPN can provide. That includes hiding your location and protecting you against the scourge of attacks on privacy that are becoming more and more prevalent as the days go by. And all you have to do is head on to my description box and follow the instructions to download ExpressVPN, or just go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube. With ExpressVPN, see a brand new internet without limits. Start your trial on the #1 VPN service now. Let's proceed with a moment from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, you all knew this was coming, right? What better example of an old character showing off than putting the spotlight on Netero once more? Netero versus Meruem. Not quite because I want to feature something that's less talked about. Thus, we talk about Netero versus Pitou. Looking at how Kite got absolutely crushed, you'd have thought that this could have been more of a fight. But no, the whole sequence just went by in slow-mo, along with chilling music and letting the moment sink in. Despite being one of the strongest characters in the series, Pitou never knew what hit them, and Netero simply brushed his opponent away in one of the most disrespectful ways possible. Never count an old man out, especially one who's a fan of Doom. Isn't that right, Sato? The most dangerous character in the series, Sato refuses to go down without a fight, resulting in this one-man army moment from episode 12 of the series. Surrounded by enemies, Sato decides to do the most logical thing and simply go gung-ho on everyone. It's like one of those Hollywood thriller shootouts, except now you're not supposed to be rooting for the one doing the shooting, but he did it just all so seamlessly, so methodically, so smoothly. Seeing Sato move around like he's 16 as opposed to 60 is quite a thing to marvel at. I can't help but be caught up in the action as he so flawlessly defeats everyone in sight, and contrary to his claim that the skirmish tired him out, he sure didn't seem wasted when he unloaded on all those enemies. Now, this is a good way to push the main antagonist with the ending of the series on the horizon. The final showdown will be a sight to see. Let's continue with another one-man army moment, this time from FMA. I know. King Bradley, in terms of appearance, isn't exactly what you'd equate as an old man, but officially, he is 60, and you know that I couldn't pass off a chance to show off this awesome moment. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The time King Bradley stood solo against an entire army blockade. Yeah, there's nothing stopping his charge. Not tanks, not bullets, and definitely not pathetic soldiers who look completely scared at what he was doing. The way King Bradley just rushes in, not a damn given to the opposition, would make anyone think he's just playing with these enemies, playing a merciless game in the most spectacular fashion possible. Where else can you see a guy destroying tanks in close quarters and slicing through bullets, all while looking completely unfazed? It's really impressive to think that at this point, King Bradley is way past his physical prime. Imagine what peak Bradley could have done. We wrap this up with an iconic moment from One Piece. You can't think of a better ending than this. Whitebeard's appearance at Ace's execution looked to be a beacon of hope. However, the old captain finds himself overwhelmed by the relentless assault of the Marines as well as Akainu. Anyone would have been rendered helpless against hundreds of different kinds of wounds, but this is Whitebeard we're talking about. Those would be nowhere near enough to put him out of commission, and he soon gets a second win before flexing his strength in an earth-shaking display, wiping the floor on the entire Marine squad. Even in his super weakened state, Whitebeard still manages to come out on top, looking as cool as he could be and standing triumphantly against everyone. Speaking of standing up though, by the end of this arc, he's cemented as one of the most badass old men in Battle Shonen, but I think we can leave that one for another time. For now, let's look back and appreciate this astonishing moment of endurance and power. And that does it for this list. 8 moments where old men showcased their power and made it known that they wouldn't lose to the young guns. Is there another moment that you'd like to share? Go and hit the comment section and let's hear about it. Also, if you're up for more videos, you can check out the channel for more content. You may also connect with the channel on social media, as links to the Discord channel, Instagram, and Patreon should be in the description box. Don't forget to check out our sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link in the description box or go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube for a 3-month free trial. I hope you had fun, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.